Talk a little bit about why combines like this are important for the kids to learn.
Well, I love it. I know I've got one kid from where I'm coaching that I sent up here just because they get a look at more competition. You know, a lot of these kids are probably the best kids on their team, and some of them are learning football for the first time. So when they come here, they're competing with people that are similar to them. They're getting to do something a little different than they do in practice. We try to emulate the NFL combine with our 5-10-5s, our 40s, our broad jump, medicine ball, and the L drill. So these are things they probably aren't doing at their schools back at home.
What are you hoping to see out of them?
I just want to see them compete and be coachable. With the Middle School Association, we also have some events such as Battle of Regions, Future Star, not Future Stars. I participate in that as well, but Team Kentucky and the All-Star Classic. So we get a look at some of the talent out here. And of course, we key everything in that they've done here, and we see some kids, and this gives us a chance to market the Kentucky Middle School Football Association and tell them about our trout we have at the end of the year. At the end of the year, we usually have anywhere from 250 to up to 400 kids trout in a day for the teams that we have. And so for some of these kids, their teams are not participants, so they're learning about us today.
Now, can you talk about the talent level that you have across the state?
There's all kinds of talent. I know that here with the Kentucky Middle School Football Association, as well as with Kentucky Future Stars, which is a different organization, both organizations are really doing similar things. They're really about promoting football and getting exposure with kids from Kentucky by participating either at state versus state competitions or at the national level. And this gets some of our kids, we go down to Naples and participate in FBU, which is a football university. And some of our kids over the past couple of years have actually made the freshman All-American game, which gets a lot of exposure with some other college coaches that are there.
My last question, well, it's not my last question, but I want to ask you, what do you feel that playing this sport does to teach kids about the game of life?
Well, football, there's lots of ups and downs, even from an individual player's perspective. You know, we saw some kids out here that stumbled when they ran their 5-10-5 shuttle, and you know, their heads dropped down. You got to tell them, hey, you get another chance at this. It's the beginning of the day. You got to keep going. It's the same thing in a game. If you get down by 6, you got to keep playing until that whistle blows. I think it helps teach perseverance, helps them see that there might be something that they've never played. You know, that's why it's great, especially at the middle school level, for kids to play multiple sports. They might not all be the right sport, but they'll find something, hopefully, whether it's a sport or a club, that will be their avenue in life of something they like.
Now, I always ask coaches why they started coaching and why they continue to coach, because it's always an up and down thing.
Right.
But talk a little bit about your experience.
Well, my experience it's kind of different. So I originally was an elementary education major. Unfortunately, sat in a classroom with some teachers who didn't like their jobs, so I switched to something else. I got out and worked my first job, and my employer allowed me to get off early, come in early and get off early to go play coach the first year. The second year, they didn't allow me, so I actually patterned my life in order to be able to schedule to be a coach. So I signed up for several higher education schools, and I ended up going to dental school, and I've been coaching 34 or 35 years. I don't have kids of my own, but this is really my family to me. I've done 22 of those years at the middle school level. So for me, it's a sense of family, because the best thing I remember about high school football is not the wins, but the camaraderie. Back in the Stone Ages, we go pick up McDonald's and we play Atari football before we went and played a real game. So I hope to bring some enthusiasm and good life experiences, because they're not going to remember the wins and losses. They're going to remember, hey, this was a good coach, or hey, this was fun doing this. And so I've really dedicated my life to just helping kids. So every weekend I'm probably doing a camp somewhere.
Well, my last question is about how much has the game changed over since the Stone Age?
Right. Well, since the Stone Age. Yeah.
And how kids are different, and your approach to coaching.
Right.
Kids are different.
Well, I think it's changed a lot from I think like when I grew up, you were like 100% in, because you were probably rotating between sports, and at the time you could play, like I could play football, basketball, and track. There might have been a week of overlap. it's harder on kids now because there's so many options besides the social media distraction, the game distraction. Of course, I did the Atari, but that was about it. But nowadays it's like almost every sport has become year-round. Football has 7-on-7, baseball has fall ball, basketball has AAU. So for a kid to be able to play 2 and 3 sports is really challenging nowadays.